Florida State will search for its first win of the season tomorrow against Cal, and they'll do so with some elite company in the stands, some top prospects, not only from the 2025 class, but 26 and 27 class. And Michael Langston is here to tell you all about it. I'm Ben Spicer, but you're here to see Michael, and he's got some insight into that visitors list. What's kind of standing out to you? Who can we expect to see that kind of intrigues you a little bit, Michael?
Well, without question, the first guy that jumped out to you is Usman Chromo. I mean, him being there. We were there last weekend with me and Ben. Got a chance to watch him do what he does, and he didn't mention that he was coming to FSU that weekend, but he did say he's definitely coming back. So to get him on campus right before he's announcing a decision, I think around September 28th is the date. So I think it's significant the fact that they're getting him in there. But I had heard even right after the Memphis game that he was talking to FSU a lot. It was very good. He's like talking to the staff like, "Hey, I know what you guys are going through. I'm with you," and he would consistently just talk with them a lot, and it's the interest is kind of cranked up even higher, even when they were struggling. So I think the fact that he's here this weekend, I think that's certainly that's got to be one of the headlines for sure. And then the commits that are coming back. Tramel Jones will be coming over. I think he's pretty much out for a significant part of the year with a ankle injury. And then Brady Smigel is going to be there. 2026 four-star quarterback commit. CJ Wiley, another big target for FSU. We know George is certainly pushing. I think Kirby Smart's going to go see him play on Friday night. So that's certainly guys. And then five-star offensive lineman Solomon Thomas will be at FSU for the first time for a game, which makes sense when you consider Alex is kind of his that's his main dude, and Alex is back from the suspension, so he'll be coaching, and so being out there and wanting to be around him, I think is a big deal. And then you have some really talented guys. I think outside of like Usman, Chase Linton is one that is certainly intriguing. Seems like a heavy lean to Georgia, but four-star defensive end. FSU lost their defensive end, so certainly we'll see what damage they can do as far as making an impact on Chase for this weekend and see how he likes it and all that stuff. So, and I think you also have some talented juniors. Kelsey Adams, four-star offensive lineman, 2027. I know that's a ways to go, but the fact you're getting talented guy like that. Cam Brooks is supposed to be back from Thomas County Central, another four-star defensive end. So uh, loaded with a lot of group, and I did not I did not expect this much talent to be popping in this weekend. I think another intriguing guy is Larry Miles, a three-star wide receiver, 2026 class. That's also visiting. So a lot of commits, a lot of certainly a few big targets like the ones I just covered of Linton and certainly Chromo. So and then you also have Josiah Victor, who's a commit to Boston College. He's a defensive end. So you really see them starting to expand that defensive end board. So I think those are some of the guys that really, as people can see, it's a very talented group. And like I said, I did not expect this coming into this Cal Visitor Weekend. I thought there'll be a few talented guys, but it's certainly blown up. And this team that struggled on the field has a real chance to string together some strong positivity when it comes to the program, and it shows you too that the kids recruits are still believing in what they're doing, and now they have a great opportunity to make a big splash.
I do have one more thing I want to ask before we let you sign off and enjoy your
No, I
Friday
got
night
plenty of
here.
time. We can ask as many things you want. Go ahead.
It was a comment on the boards. They were asking about Byron Lewis. Tony G from DB asked the question.
Right.
He said, "How are we looking for Lewis? Haven't heard much. Has he visited this season? What's kind of your intel on Byron Lewis?"
He hasn't visited the season, but that's not really a concern. I think he was waiting for certain games he wants to go to. I like where FSU. I already have a pick in for FSU. I like where FSU sits. I know the season hasn't gone as well as most expected, but I still really like where FSU sits in that recruitment. I think Wisconsin's still the main team, but I really, I still feel the confidence is very strong with FSU, and people that are around Byron Lewis's recruitment that are close to it, they feel also that FSU is going to be still tough to beat, even though the start of the season was kind of not what a lot of people expected, and he's another one where I've heard constant communication every day. He's calling Yak, he's calling these guys, he's giving the engagement of a guy that you feel like is very believed in what the product they're doing. So I think that's a guy that I think they feel good about where they sit.
All right, I love it. Well, for more insight into FSU football recruiting, make sure you head over to warchant.com, the premium recruiting board. If there's any updates to that visitors list, and of course, to see the whole visitors list, head over to the PRB. For Michael Langston, I'm Ben Spicer. Thanks for joining us here on Warchant TV, talking more FSU football recruiting. We'll see you next time.